Did you know that many seniors unknowingly harm their own health simply by saying the wrong things at the doctor's office? Most of the time, they do this without realizing it. The truth is, the words you use can prevent you from getting the care you truly need. Doctors rely on your descriptions to guide their decisions, and when your words are vague, dismissive, or misleading, the consequences can be more serious than you might think. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 hidden truths about how older adults often talk to their doctors. These are common phrases and habits that many people over 70 have picked up, but very few realize how damaging they can be. By learning about them, you'll not only protect your health but also build greater trust and respect with your physician. Stay with me until the end, because these insights can completely change how you handle your medical appointments. Just a few small changes in the way you communicate can help you live longer, stay stronger, and feel more confident every time you walk into that office. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the wisdom we share here. Now, let's begin. The first mistake is saying, "I'm fine," when you are not. This is one of the most common phrases seniors use during a doctor's visit. It may sound polite, simple, and even appropriate, but beneath the surface it can be a harmful habit. When you say, "I'm fine," even while struggling with pain, fatigue, or worrying symptoms, your doctor may take you at your word and move on. That can mean missed opportunities for early detection, timely treatment, and real relief. Often, this response is rooted in psychology. Many older adults don't want to seem like a burden, or they fear being labeled as complainers. They grew up in a time when toughness and silence were seen as virtues, and health problems were often kept private. But bringing that mindset into a medical appointment can work against you. Doctors are trained to listen for details, and when you hold back, you take away the very information they need to help you. I remember speaking with Martha, a 76-year-old woman who always told her physician she was fine. In reality, she was experiencing dizzy spells and Martha's story shows just how dangerous silence can be. She suffered from shortness of breath, but each time her doctor asked how she was doing, she replied with, "I'm fine." By the time she finally admitted what was happening, her condition had advanced much further than it should have. If she had spoken up sooner, her recovery would have been far easier. The harsh truth here is that saying, "I'm fine," may sound polite, but it can quietly steal away years of good health. Being honest about your symptoms is not complaining, it is protecting your life. When you give your doctor the full picture, you give yourself the best chance to heal and thrive. The second mistake is saying, "It's just old age." This is another phrase that nearly every senior falls back on. Aches, pains, memory lapses, or changes in sleep often get brushed aside with those 4 words, as if nothing can be done. But here is the reality. Not every discomfort is simply the result of aging. Sometimes, it is your body sending out a warning signal about conditions that could be treated or managed if caught in time. By blaming everything on age, you risk overlooking problems that could be eased, prevented, or even reversed. Psychology plays a big role here. Many older adults fear hearing bad news, so they downplay their symptoms, convincing themselves that it must be natural. Others grew up watching their parents accept suffering as just part of getting older, so they carry the same belief. But doctors cannot challenge what you minimize. When you dismiss your pain as just old age, you unintentionally teach them to ignore what might be a dangerous warning sign. Take Frank, a 72-year-old man, for example. He told his doctor that his chest discomfort was probably nothing more than age catching up to him. He ignored it until one day the pain became unbearable. Tests revealed heart disease that could have been treated earlier with far less risk. That delay cost him months of recovery and left him weaker than before. The ugly truth is that brushing off symptoms as just old age does not make you strong, it makes you vulnerable. A doctor's job is not to judge you for growing older. Their role is to separate what is normal from what is dangerous. But they can only do that if you give them honest, detailed information, even if you think it might be nothing. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please drop a comment with the number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Your support helps us keep creating meaningful content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. The third mistake is saying, "I don't want to bother you." Far too many seniors walk into the exam room with an apologetic tone, often saying things like, "I don't want to bother you," or, "I know you're busy." While it may sound humble, this habit can quietly undermine your care. Doctors are there for one reason, to help you. When you downplay your needs, you give the impression that your issues are small, even when they might be serious. Over time, this leads to rushed visits, overlooked details, and untreated problems. The root of this habit often comes from a lifetime of valuing other people's time over your own. Many older adults were raised to respect authority, to be courteous, and to never take up too much space. But in the medical setting, that same politeness can be harmful. When you treat your health as less important, others may follow your lead. Take George, a 69-year-old man, for example. He often told his doctor he didn't want to bother him. Because of that, he skipped over details about his sleep problems and constant leg cramps. Months later, he ended up in the emergency room with a blood clot, something that could have been managed if he had spoken up earlier. His hesitation to share openly had real consequences. The harsh truth is that by trying not to bother your doctor, you may be robbing yourself of answers and solutions that could protect your life. Your health is never an inconvenience. It deserves attention, time, and honest conversation. And when you claim that space, you give your doctor the opportunity to do their best work for you. The fourth mistake is saying, "You're the doctor, you decide." At first, this may sound respectful. It may even feel like an expression of trust. But in reality, it quietly strips you of your own voice in the most important decisions about your body. Doctors may have the medical knowledge, but you are the one who must live with the outcomes of their choices. When you hand over full control, you risk ending up with treatments that don't match your values, your lifestyle, or even your comfort. Psychology helps explain why this happens. Many seniors grew up in a time when doctors were viewed as unquestionable authorities. To challenge them or even ask questions felt rude or disrespectful. But modern medicine works best when it functions as a partnership. Your input matters. Your concerns matter. And your preferences matter. Without them, even the most skilled doctor cannot provide care that truly supports your life. Take Ruth, an 81-year-old woman, for example. She often told her physician, "You're the doctor, you decide." She was prescribed a medication that left her with severe side effects she could barely manage. Later, she admitted that she had never shared her worries because she didn't want to seem difficult. Once she began voicing her thoughts openly, her care improved dramatically and, for the first time, she felt truly heard. The harsh truth is that doctors are guides, not dictators. They bring expertise, but you bring lived experience. When you participate fully in the conversation, you create a plan that honors both. Silence may feel polite, but active participation is what truly protects your health. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Your support helps us continue to share valuable content that informs and inspires. Now, let's move forward. The fifth mistake is saying, "It's nothing, forget it." Perhaps this is the most harmful phrase of all. Seniors often use this line when they feel embarrassed, when they believe their concern is too small, or when they worry about sounding foolish. But dismissing your own symptoms can carry life-changing consequences. What seems minor today may actually be the clue that prevents something far more serious tomorrow. From a psychological perspective, this habit is rooted in self-protection. By brushing off your worries, you may think you're avoiding the fear of bad news. Sometimes it also comes from pride, because admitting a problem can feel like admitting weakness. But the cost of this defense is high. Doctors can only work with what you share. When you shut down a topic with "forget it," you close the door on answers you may desperately need. Consider Leonard, a 75-year-old man who noticed his gums bleeding but quickly told his dentist, "It's nothing. Forget it." Months later, he was diagnosed with advanced gum disease that had already begun to affect his overall health. If he had voiced his concern earlier, treatment would have been simple and far less painful. The harsh truth is that no symptom is too small to mention. Your body communicates through these signals, and ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. By refusing to minimize your experiences, you take real control of your well-being. What you share may be the very key to preserving your strength, independence, and quality of life in the years ahead. So, let's wrap up with some final thoughts. Which of these 5 mistakes stood out to you the most? Did you recognize any of these phrases in your own conversations with your doctor? The reality is, the words we choose matter far more than we realize, especially when it comes to our health. By avoiding these common phrases, you give yourself a stronger voice and a greater chance of receiving the care you truly need. Remember, your doctor's role is not only to treat symptoms but also to understand you as a whole person. When you speak clearly, directly, and without minimizing your concerns, you build a partnership that keeps you healthier, stronger, and more independent. You are not a burden, and your questions are never silly, they are vital. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned and how you plan to use it in your own life. Your thoughts are important to us, and reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support allows us to keep creating content that informs and inspires. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.